This is a very special year for us. It's our 50th anniversary, and it's the 20th anniversary of the World Monuments Watch. And so this opportunity to be part of tonight's program is to take just a few minutes to talk about what we've done in that 50 years and what we hope we will continue to do for at least 50 more. And just to say that heritage and conflict was not a theme that WMF necessarily thought about when it started out 50 years ago, and regrettably, it's been a significant part of our programming ever since. The Venice floods in 1966 were a galvanizing moment for the organization, so that was battling the natural elements. But beginning in the 1980s, WMF addressed issues with the outbreak of war in the Balkans, in the former Yugoslavia, and in Cambodia at the end of the Khmer Rouge period, and then today with the situation in the Middle East. So it's been a theme. We don't have answers. We hope we have positive solutions. And with that, I just want to show a brief film, 4 minutes, to tell a little bit about what we've done in the last 50 years.
A monument is a building, a sculpture, a ruin, a site. A monument awes. A monument unites. It can be ancient or modern, unassuming or grand. These structures are our common heritage. They are a collective reckoning of what we as humans can achieve and what we as advocates can preserve. When we educate, when we collaborate, when we are fearless, when we are bold. Our story began in post-war Italy with the briefly retired engineer and decorated World War II veteran, Colonel James A. Gray. Learning that there was no private, non-profit organization dedicated to the conservation of man-made marvels, Gray founded World Monuments Fund in 1965 to heed a global call. World Monuments Fund responded swiftly to the Venice floods of 1966, then spearheaded the conservation of the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela. The idea was radical and new: to organize independently, to leverage and rally resources on the ground, to speak up, and to seek out that which had been overlooked. This ethos, this daring, established a way of working and a way of acting that we've extended to projects around the world. From Easter Island to Toledo, from Latin America to the Middle East.
The built world is the most fundamental building block of human life. It's the thing that humanity has done since the beginning that's differentiated us from anything else on the planet or in the universe. The world is like a museum without walls, and we have to identify the things that are important to save.
Through advocacy, through recovery, through critical financial support, generating awareness, inspiring action, sharing knowledge, teaching skills, on and off the beaten path, responding to the unexpected. In the wake of disaster, in the wake of war, as borders waver and losses are endured, as the nature of conflict shifts precariously with the times.
Always in moments of catastrophic events, we look for an opportunity that can transform people's thinking. So it's really about changing perception. This idea of managing change is what this movement is about today.
Our efforts are sustained by a constellation of committed patrons and partners, and our endeavors are enabled by our dedicated teams on the ground. Our reach is extended with the World Monuments Watch, which we established with American Express as founding partner in 1996. Because everyone has a site that's affected them, everyone knows a place whose power extends beyond the sum of its parts. This is our way of acknowledging them, their treasures and traditions, by calling out to local community members and advocates worldwide and taking seriously what they tell us in response. On the eve of our 50th year, we recognize them all as we look toward the future. A future full of challenges, but also full of hope.
I want to say a few words about what we've accomplished and what I hope our future will hold. Bonnie Burnham, president of World Monuments Fund until just 2 weeks ago, is in that video, and she was really the heart and soul of the organization for 30 years. And I would be remiss if I didn't say when she took over, she was one person in the basement of a townhouse at East 72nd Street in New York City, and today we're 30 people in an office on the 24th floor of the Empire State Building. So I feel that's a very good visualization of how much we've grown over the years and what we've changed. And so this is, the slide before was the 2016 World Monuments Watch, just at a glance, the 50 sites, which I hope you'll go to our website and explore. And to tie into tonight, one site on that list is known as the Unnamed Monument. And it was because after the US-led invasion of Iraq in the mid-2000s, we put the entire country of Iraq on the watch because of the peril to heritage sites at that time. In 2014, we put the entire country of Mali and the entire country of Syria because of what was happening. And in 2016, for the watch, as we sat down for the last 6 months to review the nominations for the watch and try to decide how to express our deep sorrow and concern for the region, we decided it really was not one country or one monument or one type of architecture. It was very much a new kind of crisis that we're facing, where heritage is under siege in a way that we have not previously understood, where the erasure of history has become a too common event. And so we didn't want to focus on any one place and have put forward an unnamed monument as a call for us all to recognize the fragility of the world. But I don't want to leave on a bleak note. I want to remind us that we're very resilient as a people. And this is a picture of a site in the Kurdish region in northern Iraq, Jirwan. It's an Assyrian aqueduct system, and its remains are visible in an extraordinary landscape. And in 2014, we had Kinnus, an Assyrian relief site in the Kurdish region, on the watch as well. And we've been running a training program in northern Iraq for several years, and this was a site visit we took about 2 years ago now, and it's a reminder that even amidst the chaos that we read about in the papers, there's a very dedicated group of people in Syria, in Iraq, in Egypt, in Libya, in Mali, in other countries I could name, who really every day get up and devote themselves to the betterment of the heritage situation, and also to reminding all of us how precious these sites are. And it was a privilege to be one of the people who served as an instructor in this course in the Kurdish region. And most importantly, we have worked in Cambodia nonstop since 1989. And when we first began working there, it was the end of the Khmer Rouge period and a very difficult period in Cambodia. And this picture is one of my all-time favorite pictures at WMF. This was taken 2 years ago. These are all of our workers in Cambodia. We employ more than 120 workers full-time year-round at 4 project sites. This is Phnom Penh, the oldest temple in Angkor Archaeological Park, where we're in the midst of a very large-scale restoration. And it really brings joy to my heart to see the entire group. We didn't know they were going to do this. We said we were going to have a celebration for everybody who had worked for us for more than 10 years. And we had a staff party, and then they all assembled on the scaffolding and sent us this photo in New York. And it really moves me to know that we've been a part of helping to build a very strong conservation team in Cambodia. And then my final comment is, World Monuments Fund is a joy for me to come to work every single day. It's really like a nonstop graduate education in cultural heritage, art history, and architecture. It's an opportunity to learn every single day about a new place. And it's the extraordinary people I work with, both in New York and elsewhere, that make that such a joy. But World Monuments Fund, as John said, is only made possible by people's donations, and occasionally, in addition to extraordinary people, we have extraordinary companies. And American Express, which sponsored tonight's evening, has been a supporter of the World Monuments Watch since it was launched in 1996. And this is just a slide to show what an unfailing partner they've been. Since 1995, really, they have contributed $16.5 million to more than 150 sites in 60 countries. So it's an opportunity to work with them every year, and we're very grateful for their support, both for tonight's lecture and for the watch. And Google, too, who you'll hear from in just a moment, is also a partner with WMF. We were very proud to be one of the early groups invited to be part of Google World Wonders. And for our 50th anniversary, Google created a special app for us for the Chancellerie d'Orléans project in Paris. And we've also continued to work on a number of other Google platforms, such as Field Trip and Google Gallery. So we hope that we will have a very long association with Google, just as we've had with American Express.